Imagine standing on the deck of the most luxurious ship ever built. The air is crisp, the ocean is calm, and the night sky is filled with stars. It's April 14th, 1912, and you're aboard the RMS Titanic, the so-called unsinkable ship. But little do you know, in just a few hours, this grand vessel will be at the bottom of the Atlantic Ocean. What happened on that fateful night? Join me as we unravel the mysteries, the myths, and the facts of the Titanic's tragic maiden voyage. Welcome back to our channel, folks. If you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell to stay updated on all our latest content. Today, we're diving deep into one of history's most infamous maritime disasters. So grab your life jackets, because this is going to be a gripping journey. The Titanic set sail from Southampton, England on April 10, 1912, on its maiden voyage to New York City. With over 2,200 passengers and crew on board, it was a floating palace, boasting opulent accommodations, state-of-the-art technology, and an air of invincibility. The ship was a marvel of engineering and luxury, attracting some of the wealthiest and most influential people of the time. But it wasn't just the rich and famous. There were also hundreds of immigrants seeking a new life in America. The Titanic was a microcosm of society, with a stark divide between the opulent first-class cabins and the cramped quarters of third-class passengers. But let's get to the heart of the story. As the Titanic steamed across the Atlantic, the crew received multiple warnings about icebergs in the area. Despite these warnings, the ship continued at nearly full speed. Why? Because the ship's owners, the White Star Line, were eager to make headlines by setting a new speed record. Fast forward to the night of April 14th. The sea was eerily calm, making it difficult to spot icebergs. At 11:40 p.m., the lookout Frederick Fleet spotted an iceberg directly in the ship's path. He rang the warning bell and phoned the bridge, shouting, "Iceberg! Right ahead!" The officers on the bridge immediately ordered the engines to be reversed and the ship to turn hard to port, but it was too late. The Titanic struck the iceberg on its starboard side, causing a series of punctures below the waterline. The so-called unsinkable ship was doomed. The iceberg tore a 300-foot gash along the Titanic's hull, breaching 5 of its 16 watertight compartments. The ship was designed to stay afloat with up to 4 compartments flooded, but 5 was one too many. Water poured in at an alarming rate, and it quickly became clear that the Titanic was sinking. Panic set in as the crew began to evacuate the passengers, but there weren't enough lifeboats for everyone on board. The Titanic carried only 20 lifeboats, enough for about half of the people on the ship. This tragic oversight was based on outdated maritime regulations and a misplaced confidence in the ship's invincibility. The evacuation was chaotic. Lifeboats were launched half-empty, and many passengers were reluctant to leave the perceived safety of the ship. The first lifeboat to leave carried only 28 people, though it could hold 65. As the reality of the situation set in, the desperation grew. Women and children were given priority, but many families were torn apart in the process. At 2:20 a.m., the Titanic's stern rose high into the air, and the ship broke apart. The bow sank first, followed by the stern, which plunged into the icy waters a few minutes later. Over 1,500 people were still on board when the ship went down. The icy water was a death sentence for most of them, as hypothermia set in within minutes. The RMS Carpathia, which was 58 miles away when the Titanic's distress signals were sent, arrived on the scene at around 4 a.m. By then, the lifeboats were filled with freezing, shell-shocked survivors. The Carpathia's crew worked tirelessly to them, but for many, it was too late. The sinking of the Titanic was a wake-up call for the world. It led to major changes in maritime safety regulations, including the requirement for sufficient lifeboats for all passengers and regular lifeboat drills. The tragedy also spurred the creation of the International Ice Patrol to monitor icebergs in the North Atlantic. So, what really happened on that fateful night? It was a perfect storm of human error, hubris, and nature's unforgiving power. The Titanic's story is a haunting reminder of the fragility of life and the importance of humility and vigilance. Before we wrap up, here are some bonus facts about the Titanic that you might find interesting. 1. The ship's band. The Titanic's band continued to play music as the ship sank, hoping to calm the passengers. They are remembered as heroes for their bravery. 2. The last meal. The last meal served to first-class passengers included oysters, filet mignon, and Waldorf pudding. Talk about a lavish Last Supper. 3. The unsinkable Molly Brown, Margaret Brown, later known as the unsinkable Molly Brown, was a first-class passenger who helped others board lifeboats and even took an oar herself to row the lifeboat to safety. 4. The wreck's discovery. The wreck of the Titanic was discovered in 1985 by oceanographer Dr. Robert Ballard. It lies about 12,500 feet below the surface of the North Atlantic. 5. A piece of history. A letter written by a Titanic passenger the day before the sinking was auctioned for $166,000 in 2017. It provides a poignant glimpse into the final moments aboard the ill-fated ship. And there you have it. The Titanic's tragic tale continues to captivate our imaginations over a century later. If you found this video engaging, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let us know in the comments what you think about the Titanic story, or if there's another historical event you'd like us to cover. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.